Often bloated and not sure why? What if I told you there's a chance the cause could be fibroids, and that one of the simplest ways to take back control is through the foods you eat? In today's episode, we're going to look at the natural foods that can help shrink fibroids and bring your hormones back into balance. We'll also uncover the everyday foods and habits that may quietly be making things worse. I had the privilege of speaking with my colleague Barbara O'Neill, who has spent many years studying how diet and lifestyle influence women's health. Her knowledge is extraordinary, and today I'll be sharing her insights along with stories from women I've worked with over the years. Welcome back to the Female Health Podcast, where we explore the topics that matter most to women after 60. My name is Leah Parker. I've worked for more than 30 years as a gynecologist and intimate psychologist, helping women find natural solutions that make life after menopause healthier and more comfortable. So if you've been dealing with bloating, pressure, or discomfort, stay with me. This conversation could give you the tools to feel lighter, more balanced, and more at ease in your own body. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe to the Female Health Podcast so you don't miss the practical, natural strategies we share here every day. Before we dive into the foods, let us pause for a moment. If you are a woman over 60 and you often feel bloated, heavy in your lower belly, or find yourself needing to rush to the bathroom more often than you would like, please stay with me. These symptoms are common, but that does not mean you have to accept them. Very often, the hidden cause is fibroids. Fibroids are non-cancerous growths in or around the uterus. Many women first develop them years earlier, and while they may shrink after menopause, the effects can remain. That pressure in your belly, the swelling, the back pain, or even the tiredness you feel after simple daily tasks, these can all be linked to fibroids. I want to reassure you, if you have been living with these complaints, you are not alone, and there are gentle, natural steps you can take to feel better. I remember speaking with a woman in her 60s who told me she felt like she was carrying a stone in her lower abdomen every day. When she began changing her diet, adding in specific healing foods, her body responded, she felt lighter, her energy improved, and she finally felt more at ease in her own skin. This is why today's conversation is so important. Fibroids can affect your comfort, your mood, and even the way you enjoy life, but you do not have to stay stuck with them. There are natural foods that support your body, calm the symptoms, and help create balance again. So please stay with me. In a moment, I will share the foods that Barbara O'Neill and I believe can truly make a difference for women, even after 60. Now let us talk about the first foods that Barbara O'Neill and I want you to know about. These are not exotic or hard to find. They are simple foods, the kind you may already have in your kitchen, but when you use them regularly, they can gently support your body and truly make a difference. The first one is garlic. Most of us think of garlic as something we add to our cooking for flavor, but it is so much more than that. Garlic is one of nature's strongest healers. It contains a natural compound that helps calm inflammation and supports the body in clearing away waste that can collect in the uterus and ovaries. Barbara explained to me that garlic can even reduce the blood supply that fibroids use to grow. That means garlic is not just adding taste to your meal, it is quietly helping your body fight back. I remember one woman who began eating a little fresh garlic each day. At first she was hesitant. She told me, "Leah, I do not want to smell of garlic." But she soon found a way that worked for her, by chopping small pieces and swallowing them with water, almost like a pill. After a few months, she looked at me and said, "I feel lighter in my own body." The next food is broccoli sprouts. They look so small, almost delicate, but inside they carry a very powerful natural chemical that supports the liver. And the liver is so important for women with fibroids because it is the organ that breaks down extra estrogen. When estrogen levels build up too high, fibroids thrive. When estrogen is balanced, the body finds its calm again. Adding a handful of broccoli sprouts on top of your soup, in a salad, or even on a sandwich is such a simple step, but it gives your liver the help it needs. One woman told me she laughed at first, saying, "I feel like I am eating baby plants." But she kept at it, and after a while her bloating eased and her digestion felt lighter. Now let us turn to tomatoes. These bright, juicy fruits are rich in natural antioxidants that bring balance to your hormones and calm to your body. What is wonderful about tomatoes is that they help whether you eat them fresh in a salad or cooked in a soup or sauce. Barbara often reminds women that cooking tomatoes makes one of their healing compounds, called lycopene, even easier for the body to use. So if you enjoy a bowl of tomato soup, or a simple pasta sauce, you are not only enjoying comfort food, you are feeding your body protection. And then we come to berries. Strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, all of them are filled with antioxidants and protective plant compounds that stop abnormal growths from taking hold. They are gentle, sweet, and easy to add to your day. I often encourage women to swap an evening dessert for a small bowl of berries. It feels like a treat, but it is also medicine from nature. One woman told me that eating berries each night became her quiet ritual, and over time she noticed not only less bloating, but also more energy in her mornings. So these first four, garlic, broccoli sprouts, tomatoes, and berries, are a powerful beginning. They are simple foods, but when eaten often, they help create an environment in your body where fibroids cannot thrive. Now let us look at the next group of healing foods that Barbara O'Neill and I often recommend. These are everyday foods you may already know, but when you eat them regularly, they can gently support your body and help keep fibroids under control. The first is mushrooms. Whether you enjoy button mushrooms, portobello, or shiitake, they all have a natural ability to slow down the effect of too much estrogen in the body. And since fibroids love estrogen, this is a very good thing. Mushrooms also calm inflammation and strengthen your immune system, which helps you feel steadier and more energetic. I remember a woman who began cooking mushrooms a few times a week, sometimes in soups, sometimes just sautéed with a little olive oil. After a couple of months, she told me she no longer felt that constant heaviness in her lower belly. She said, "I just feel more at ease in my own body." Next are the green vegetables from the cabbage family. Things like broccoli, cauliflower, kale, Brussels sprouts, and even radishes. These are not always the most popular vegetables, but they are among the most powerful for women's health. They help the body clear out extra hormones and bring balance back. They also give you fiber, which keeps digestion moving and helps your liver do its natural cleaning work. One woman I worked with started adding a small serving of steamed broccoli to her dinner each night. At first she did it only because I suggested it, but a few weeks later she told me her bloating was less, and her energy in the mornings was better than it had been in years. Then we have shallots. They look like little onions, and they have a sweet, gentle flavor, but do not let their size fool you. They are powerful. Shallots help to cut off the blood supply that fibroids use to grow. In simple words, they starve the fibroids. You can chop them into salads, add them to soups, or roast them with other vegetables. One woman told me she began using shallots every day, and she felt proud knowing that such a small choice could make such a big difference. And finally, sea kelp. This is a type of seaweed that is rich in a mineral called iodine. Many women do not get enough iodine, especially if they live far from the sea, and this can upset hormone balance. By adding kelp to your diet, you give your body what it needs to steady those hormones again. You can buy kelp flakes to sprinkle on food, enjoy it in miso soup, or add it to a simple broth. One woman I know began drinking miso soup with kelp each evening. She told me, "It feels so calming, and I notice that my belly feels less swollen afterward." So these four mushrooms, green vegetables, shallots, and sea kelp are simple foods, but they work gently with your body to bring calm, balance, and comfort. We have already talked about some wonderful foods, but there are still a few more that Barbara O'Neill and I want you to know about. These are simple things, many of them found in your kitchen already, but when used with intention, they can gently calm your body and help reduce fibroid troubles over time. Let us begin with herbs. Peppermint, sage, and rosemary. These herbs are easy to add to your day. You might enjoy them in a cup of tea, sprinkle them over a salad, or cook them into a warm soup. What makes them special is that they help cool down inflammation in the body, and they calm the hormones that fibroids use to grow. Barbara explained to me that they also reduce the blood flow that keeps fibroids alive. One woman I met began drinking peppermint tea every evening. At first she simply liked the taste, but soon she noticed her belly felt calmer after dinner, and she no longer felt that heavy pressure as she tried to sleep. Small, steady choices like this can be surprisingly powerful. Next is turmeric, the golden spice you may know from curry dishes. Turmeric has been used for centuries as a natural healer, and modern science now confirms what women have known all along. It helps the body fight inflammation and slows the growth of abnormal cells. Barbara often says turmeric works like a gentle broom, sweeping away what does not belong. One of my patients began stirring half a teaspoon of turmeric into warm milk each evening. She called it her golden comfort drink. Not only did it soothe her at the end of the day, but after a few weeks, she noticed her bloating was less, and her digestion felt steadier. Turmeric can also be added to soups, stews, or even sprinkled lightly over roasted vegetables. However you enjoy it, try to use it regularly. It works best when it becomes part of daily life. Now let us talk about peanuts. Many people think of peanuts only as a quick snack, but they hold a natural compound that slows down cell growth and supports healthy tissues. For women with fibroids, that can make a difference. The key is to choose plain, unsalted peanuts, not the sugary or heavily processed kinds. I remember a woman who kept a small jar of peanuts on her kitchen counter. Every afternoon she would take a small handful with a cup of tea. She told me it gave her steady energy and left her feeling satisfied without the sugar crashes she used to get from cookies. Over time she noticed her stomach felt calmer, and she even had more energy to take her daily walks. And finally, lemon. This simple fruit is one of nature's great cleansers. When you squeeze fresh lemon juice into warm water and drink it in the morning, it gives your liver gentle support to clear away waste and balance hormones. Lemons are also rich in vitamin C, which helps the immune system stay strong. Barbara often says start your day with lemon water and your whole body thanks you. One woman I spoke with began this habit in her 60s. She told me, at first I did it because you suggested it, but now I look forward to it. My mornings feel lighter and my belly feels less heavy. So these last foods, peppermint, sage, rosemary, turmeric, peanuts, and lemon, are simple and affordable, yet powerful in how they support your body. They are not quick fixes, but when you welcome them into your daily routine, they can bring balance, ease, and comfort over time. Now that we have talked about the foods that can help, it is just as important to mention the ones that may quietly make fibroids worse. Barbara O'Neill and I both agree that avoiding certain foods and habits can be just as healing as adding in the good ones. Let us start with dairy. Many milk, cheese, and butter products come from cows that have been treated with hormones to produce more milk. Those added hormones can end up in the food and over time can upset your own delicate balance. Some women notice that when they reduce or stop dairy, their bloating lessens and their digestion feels calmer. If you enjoy milk, you might try almond, oat, or coconut milk instead. These are gentler on the body and do not carry the same hormonal load. Next is soy. While soy is often marketed as healthy, it contains natural compounds that mimic estrogen in the body. For women with fibroids, this extra fake estrogen can encourage growth. Processed soy foods like soy milk, soy protein powders, and soy-based snacks are especially strong in this effect. Fermented soy, such as miso or tempeh, is much gentler, but if you have fibroid troubles, it may still be wise to limit soy. Another factor is processed foods in general. Packaged snacks, fast food, and heavily treated meats often contain additives, preservatives, and even hidden sugars that disturb hormone balance. Choosing whole, fresh foods is always a safer path. We also need to mention genetically modified crops, often called GMOs. These crops are sprayed with strong chemicals that can act like estrogen inside the body. Over time, this can encourage fibroid growth. Whenever possible, choose organic fruits, vegetables, and grains. Even small swaps, like buying organic apples or lettuce, can reduce the amount of these chemicals you take in. Hormonal birth control is another piece to consider. Pills and certain devices often contain strong forms of estrogen. For women who are still taking them later in life, this can sometimes make fibroids worse. If this applies to you, it may be worth having a gentle conversation with your doctor about other options. And finally, something many women do not expect: cotton tampons. In some countries, most cotton is genetically modified and sprayed with chemicals. Because tampons are used in such a sensitive area, those chemicals can enter the body and upset hormones. Today there are safer choices, like organic cotton products or reusable menstrual cups. So just as we can welcome healing foods into our daily lives, we can also choose to step back from the ones that fuel fibroids. Each small change, less dairy, less soy, fewer processed snacks, choosing organic when you can, gives your body space to heal and to feel lighter again. We have covered a lot in this conversation. We talked about fibroids, the symptoms they can bring, and why they still matter even after 60. We explored the foods that help: garlic, broccoli sprouts, tomatoes, berries, mushrooms, green vegetables, shallots, sea kelp, herbs like peppermint, sage and rosemary, turmeric, peanuts and lemon. And we also looked at the foods and habits that may quietly make things worse, like dairy, soy, processed foods and chemical-laden products. What I want you to remember is this: you are not powerless. Your body listens to the choices you make every day. Each time you choose a healing food, each time you skip something that fuels fibroids, you are giving your body a chance to restore balance. It does not happen overnight, but it does happen step by step. I know from my own work, and from the wisdom Barbara O'Neill shared with me, that women can and do feel better when they bring these changes into their lives. I have seen women move from constant bloating and heaviness to feeling lighter, freer, and more comfortable in their own skin. And you deserve that too, so I encourage you to try even one of these changes this week. Maybe it is a bowl of berries instead of dessert, or a cup of peppermint tea in the evening, or starting your day with warm lemon water. See how your body responds. Small steps can create big differences over time. Before we close, I would love to hear from you. Have you ever tried one of these healing foods, and did you notice a change in how you felt? Your story may encourage another woman who is listening right now, and if you found this episode helpful, please subscribe to the Female Health Podcast. Each week we share natural, practical insights to help women after 60 live with more balance, energy, and joy. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take gentle care of yourself, and I look forward to our next conversation together.